Okay, who is excited for our final speaker of the night? Amazing. Okay, so I am so excited to introduce Jake and his 3 fun facts. Very interesting. Number one, he loves the smell of armpit BO. It actually turns him on. So you want to give him a big hug later, open up your armpit. His professional job title at Midday Squares is Rainmaker. And he's an unofficial hype man. He gets hired by corporations to come into offices and make their teams dance to the YMCA. I don't know, I have a feeling that maybe that's what we're gonna be doing before he starts his talk. Jake, come on up and share your fuck up.
Can we actually do the dance? 100%. Do you have loud music? Do we? If we can we get everybody to stand up? Yeah. Let's get a little activation. Does everyone know the YMCA? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna fly. Oh yeah, I'm still out of breath though because I have to yell, you know? Okay. So hi everybody. From a show of hands, has anyone tried Midday Squares before? If you raise your hand, okay, we got to get more of you to try it. Come on, that Canadian company. Yeah, I don't know. We should have had. We need more than that. I should have bought way more than that. Anyways, long story short, I've launched 3 businesses in my life. 2 have completely failed. One failure was actually not because of bankruptcy or actually, having a bad product. I actually made a lot of money. I was making like capital that I didn't know what to do with it at the time. But I lost passion. And when you lose passion for something, you end up closing it. And the reason why is you got to know when to move on. Waking up every day and not liking what you do is terrible. And I closed that business because of passion. People thought I was out of my mind. When you have all that kind of money coming in, you have this freedom. But it wasn't freedom to me, because freedom means you're doing what you love. You actually are following your journey. To me, it wasn't. So I closed that business. And then I launched a clothing business that was throwing parties on every college campus across Canada, except for in Quebec. And it was on fire as a brand. The brand was on fire. The social media was crazy. But I didn't know how to operate the business because I didn't know how to monetize it. I knew to throw the party, tell the story, have fun, build hype. But when I tried to sell clothing, I didn't know how to manufacture the clothing. I didn't know how to get the pricing right. I didn't know how to source the stuff. And I ended up losing $80,000 in that journey. And I closed that business. And that's when my sister and my brother-in-law approached me with this other business called Midday Squares. And they built this chocolate bar, a functional chocolate bar. And they said to me, you're going to build the next largest chocolate snacking company. We're going to try to do what Hershey's or Mars or Nestle would do if they started in 2022. What would they look like? They definitely wouldn't have the products that they're creating today. They'd be a lot different. We wanted to create a legacy brand, a brand that you will have here for the next 100 years, a new version of a chocolate bar. Not the sugar chocolate, not the palm oil chocolate, but a functional chocolate bar that is made with good ingredients, quality foods, and actually keeps you full and has high protein, high fiber. And when we started, I was like, this is a crazy idea. How the hell are we going to win in the food space? This is the most complex industry. It is archaic. The grocery store is boring as nails. No one likes going grocery shopping for, maybe 10% do, but it's boring. The brands don't connect with you. There's nothing emotional about brands in a grocery store. Food is just food. It's commodity. It's beverages. It's stuff that you eat for function or you drink for function. But yet, I felt like, what if we made a brand that's looked like a Nike rather than a Kellogg, something that made you feel something deeply inside, something that gave you energy, made you want to be part of the journey. And that's when we launched Midday Squares in 2018, August 4th. Me, my sister, my brother-in-law, and the idea was, let's build the next Hershey's. Let's do it by building a brand, one that actually has community, one that creates better for you products. Fast forward 4 years, everything was selling. We were on fire. Momentum was crazy. We just came off our 3rd round. We just raised $10 million. USD from City Capital, crazy evaluation. We had every press on us possible, literally. Forbes, Business Insider, TechCrunch, you name it, BuzzFeed. We were the talk of town in the US, and we haven't even launched there. And we got this capital, we were fired up. Our product used to look like this. It was a two square product, and it was on fire. The problem was, we had an issue with Hershey's at the time. Hershey's tried to acquire us, and we actually said no. And 2 months later, they came to us with some legal letters, and they wanted us to no longer use the color orange. They said that they own the color orange. So we thought that was absurd. We thought that as absurd. And being a storyteller, being bold and not caring, and being an entrepreneur, you do creative things. Instead of going to the courts with them, which would have been $2 to $5 million USD in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we decided to create a story. We decided to show the David versus Goliath, the chocolate gone crazy. And we went and launched a diss track, a music video that cost us $65,000 $65,000 to literally make a song that's My Name Is What, but it was chocolate gone crazy. And it was the story of how ironic a company, big company, is threatened by small company, but we answer with creativity. And the consumers went wild. So we were like on fire. Momentum was crazy. Confidence was high. Everything was going smooth. Suddenly, we realized that inflation was ramping up. We had problems with everything going on with the world. Supply chain was completely backwards. Our prices no longer made sense. The company no longer made sense. The margin could not get to where we got to get to. And we own our own factory. So we have to hit certain margins so we don't burn so much capital. And I'll never forget, my partners came up to me and said, this business isn't feasible, isn't viable. This is 3.5 years into the business. It's not viable if we don't change the format of the product. And the reason being is we needed to raise prices. So we had a choice. Do we keep the product like a 2-square that was $3.99 at the time and raise it to about $5.49? Or do we move to 1 square and raise the price of the 27%, but move to $2.49 per square? And I looked at them, I said, what the fuck? How are we gonna change the format? This is crazy, it's bananas. You don't just change the format of a product out of nowhere. And we had no choice, so we did it. We did it, and we actually listened to our customers, because our customers always asked us to have a resealable pack with the packaging. But if you want to do a resealable pack at scale, it costs millions of dollars to do, so we couldn't afford it. So what we did was we created a video explaining to every customer transparently why we're changing the prices. We showed them the exact costs in the supply chain, cocoa prices, shipping prices, cocoa butter prices, every single ingredient, our plant proteins flew through the roof. So we showed that this is the only way we survive. Keep in mind, we were off this momentum train. Everyone was looking at us. We were killing it. We had the Hershey's dispute, the acquisition stuff. It was wild. And then we launched this video. Now it's at 33,000 views, but our customers were happy because like, you're being transparent, you're showing that you're raising prices, you're telling us why, and we felt really good. Now the kicker of changing a product in food, for those who are in the food and beverage world, is when you change a format or ingredients, or you do a lot of changes for the safety of the consumer, the regulators actually force you to do a UPC code change, which changes the code and your data actually gets erased, and you are now a brand new item. You are no longer the Midday Square like that. You are a completely new Midday Square that is a brand new item. So us being confident as fuck, momentum driven, hyped up, media and all this stuff, again, ego being very high at the time, we're like, let's rip the Band-Aid off and just launch it. No one cares. It's that simple. You're changing from 2 square to 1 square, raise a little bit of prices. Who gives a shit? The customer's gonna love it. So we did it. We went to the store, we scanned the barcode, just to double check to make sure. So then we ordered 3 million packs. 3 million packs, but it's $500,000. And we ramped up production, we got ready, we got so fired up. We told our customers, we told our retailers, everyone started putting the orders. No one said a word, by the way. Everyone was like, you sure you're doing this? You sure you want to do this? Like these weird backhand comments. And we're like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're winning. We're killing it right now. We're on fire. And the three of us got so hyped together, my partners and I, that we're just like, we're narrow focused, not listening to anything around us. We're launching this, we're betting the farm. If this doesn't work, the company will close. Then hell broke out. We delivered about 1 million packages to retailers, and they went out, and we started to get messages from our customers on email, Instagram, Facebook, and they started to say that, yo, we can't buy your product in store. We wanted to buy the single square, but it won't scan. The barcode won't scan at the retailer. So I'm thinking to myself, there's no possible way. We scanned it at the Marché Town in Montreal, one of our natural retailers, and it worked. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's just a 1 or 2, 3 person problem. Next thing you know, hundreds, thousands of messages start coming into our customer experience team saying, you have a problem. Your barcodes do not scan. And I'm thinking, this can't be that big of a problem. Like, this will pass. Maybe it's just functionality or something. Then the retailers start hitting up our sales team and saying, what the hell is going on? We cannot sell your product. We have millions of dollars of inventory and we can't sell your product. So I'm thinking to my partners, is this actually happening right now? Like, are we actually have a barcode issue? From all the changes we did, the ingredient changes, the reformulations, the format changes, we have a barcode issue?
So we went back to our office, we bought scanners, and we went to all the inventory and not one barcode would scan. Then we're like, okay, we have a real problem here. This means that all the product in every single store cannot sell. So I said to my partner, I said, well, what the hell are they doing? Are we not gonna get any sales? No, the cashier could do one of two things. They could type in the little numbers, that are about 12 numbers, I think it's 12 numbers, in on each thing. So if you take 10 squares, you type 10 times 12 numbers to get the scan through. Or, like a normal person, just put it as a grocery item. If it's put as a grocery item, it doesn't register as a Midday Square sale. So what happens is the grocery store will get a sale of the $2.49, but Midday Squares won't register in their inventory as leaving the store. So guess what? The inventory stays in the store. If they sold 100 of those units, it says they still have 100 units. So I said to my partners, I said, this is not good. This is not good. We are about to fail. And so we assessed the problem. And we said, okay, we have 1 million bars out. We could either do a voluntary recall, which means that you pull off all the products off the shelf. We looked at the cost of that. We said, that's too whack. That's too crazy. That's insane. Media, press. We were just coming off this hero status. Now we'll be losers. The second thing we said was, well, what if we sticker the items? What if we buy a machine, we figure out how to sticker it, and we do that? That's expensive, a lot of labor. The third thing was, what if we just throw out all the packs and order new ones? Problem with that was it was a 4-week delay and we wouldn't be able to ship product up for 4 weeks and we would take about $1 million hit. Overall, we realized that the opportunity cost was actually $1.5 million. And keep in mind, at this time, not only were customers mad, the retailers were mad, investors were mad. They were like, was this change worth doing? Did you guys have to really go to one square? The pressure, the heat started coming. People started saying, this company might implode, and people started writing about us. People started getting mad. For the first time ever in our company, we felt heat from people around us. The customers started giving us real heat. Fans started questioning that they were fans of the company because they thought that this was just a negligent mistake. So I'm thinking internally, I'm like, how the hell did this happen? We did so many changes, but we didn't check if the barcode would scan in a store. And now we have to deal with 4,500 stores. We're gonna get dropped. So what did we do? We asked our community. This is where community comes to be very important. We said, who can help us with this issue? And long story short, our community helped us find this machine. This is a labeling machine. Basically, we printed out nasty labels that had a barcode that was obviously larger and was able to scan. And we started to test out to see if this would work. And it did work. It costed $62,000 or $70,000 and just labor. So we started to literally get our whole team to go out and label 3 million packs. We said, screw it, we're gonna take the beating on all the packages that are in the store. The cashiers will have to type in all the orders, but we'll get through that 1 million, and once we're through it, we could solve the problem. Now the problem is we didn't consider the fact that when you don't know your inventory levels in store, in 4,500 stores, orders aren't gonna come back through. So what ended up happening was, again, Walmart would have 100 stock, but it was actually 10 in stock because the grocery item was scanning as a grocery item rather than a Midday Square. So our months, we went from doing $1.7 million months to $400,000 months. And the company was burning over $400,000 months in capital loss. So we had minimal time for this to work. So as soon as possible, we got this out. We then started working on a new package. We said, what do? We got to create a new one. We got to have a new barcode. Some of you have the actual package right now, and that would actually scan in on right away, and it would be big. So we got these brand new printed. We fired up. We got our whole team involved, and we just let everything burn. We let everything burn at the retail level because we said, you know what? Anything other decision, we would have had more heat from the customer, more anger, and we wouldn't have been able to actually deliver Midday Squares. We sent out merchandisers to go to every single store to count the amount of stock that was in the store so that we could submit manual orders so that we can continue to actually have our team employed. Otherwise, we'd have to lay off our entire team because manufacturing you need production, you need actual demand to make it happen. The unique thing is obviously this is the evolution. As you can see, this is the first one. You could barely see the barcode. The second one was the sticker that we put on, the nasty sticker. The third one, which you guys have today, is a massive barcode, obviously different printing and stuff like that. And the truth is anyone should know this, that if you are gonna make a change, Listen to people around you. We didn't ask. We didn't check on Google. We didn't ask our investors. We didn't ask anyone. We were so confident. Our egos were flying high. We were so in our own bubble that we just did it naively. We didn't think that that could be an error. That could cost us $1.5 million and almost bankrupting the whole company. Literally a $20 mistake. Because if you go on Google, the first thing you check is barcodes, UPC codes, and it will tell you that you just got to go on GS1 and you submit it and it tells you if it's good or not. And that $20 mistake costed $1.5 million. And that was because we were in our own head. That is because we were so hyped up by the media, by the attention around our business, by the excitement of Midday Squares on the months that we were killing it. When you're in good times, you don't think about these things. But the moment you make a mistake like this, you can literally, with the snap of a finger, lose your entire business. You are always one step away from crashing completely. And that taught me that lesson, was no matter where you are in your business, no matter how high you're flying, one moment, one thing that goes wrong can ruin your entire business. And that's what I learned throughout this process is surround yourself with people that you trust, that have your back and that you could lean on for things. We had a whole corner of amazing investors, probably the best in the food space. And we didn't even ask them, what do you think about this? We were just so in our heads, so confident, because when things are really good and you're getting all that love and the money and the attention, you forget about things. You forget about all the stuff that actually has to get done, the details that make a difference. This barcode thing was crazy. Think about it. $1.5 million was what we accounted for. We didn't account for everything that happened, how many customers we actually lost from the anger, the idea that we already made 5 changes in one call. We raised prices by 27% as well. Think about that. We did all these changes that the customer could have already been mad about, but the barcodes would tip them off completely. The barcode frustrates someone when you're in line for 20 minutes calculating bars. They would steal them or they would throw them away. And that would turn them off ever because the customer experience is so important. Not only did that barcode lose us money, but it almost cost us our team. Our team was under immense amount of stress. When you're getting thousands of messages of bad energy and complaints and anger, your team starts to break. When you don't have work for your production associates, they start to get worried. They start to have fear that they're not going to put food on the table for their families. When you start to lose the attention and it starts to swing to that negativity from the press, you start to think that, shit, is this actually worth it? Do I want to be attacked? Do I want to be part of that? All these things for a $20 mistake. And going forward, if anyone's going to switch anything in food or beverage or anything CPG related, make sure to check on Google. I know Google's not always right, but that $20 error could have been solved and we wouldn't have had 6 months of absolute chaos and hell. I can promise you we've recovered a little bit, but that being said, we will never make a change like that again without checking first and asking and leaning on people that care about us. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys want about anything entrepreneurship or even related to this fuck up.
That was a crazy story. I love it. Also, I just want to say I've been following you guys like all through COVID, and like you're just so aligned with Fuckup Nights. The way that y'all share on Instagram and across your social, you're so vulnerable and so open with the whole journey. And I was gonna reach out to have you speak, and your team actually reached out just as we were coming back in person. So meant to be. So happy you were finally able to share. And yeah, let's get some questions for Jake.